Welcome to Global Foundry, where ideas forge the future. In a world at the crossroads of crisis and opportunity, bold innovation is not just a luxury, it is a necessity. Today, we set out on a journey across continents and centuries, exploring 8 groundbreaking sustainability ideas that are already changing our world. These are concepts that merge revolutionary technology with the wisdom of the past, forging a path toward a livable, thriving planet. These are not far-off dreams, they are happening right now. Let's begin. Imagine a world where our food does not have to travel thousands of miles, where it is grown right where it is needed, inside the beating heart of our cities. Traditional agriculture, for all its bounty, comes at a cost. It occupies roughly half of all habitable land and guzzles precious water resources. Vertical farming reimagines this paradigm. Picture crops climbing skywards, stacked layer upon layer inside glass towers or abandoned warehouses. Using hydroponics, plants grow not in soil but in nutrient-rich water, while LED lighting mimics the sun's rays, allowing for photosynthesis at any hour in any season. Cities like Singapore, hemmed in by land constraints, have become global leaders, transforming rooftops and high-rises into lush, productive farms. Companies like Aero Farms cultivate lettuce and herbs without pesticides, using up to 95% less water than traditional methods. The result? Fresher food, harvested steps from your kitchen, with no need for chemical sprays or long-distance shipping. Vertical farming is not just about feeding people, it is about reclaiming space, saving water, and building food security for the urban future. Now, let's turn to a new way of thinking about waste, a world where nothing is lost and everything is transformed. The linear take, make, dispose economy, which has driven consumption and waste for centuries, is being replaced by the circular economy. In this system, waste is not an endpoint, but a new beginning. Clothing, electronics, even entire buildings are designed for durability, repair, and eventual recycling. Patagonia repairs and recycles worn-out gear, while IKEA is launching furniture take-back programs, transforming old sofas into new products. Jet engines, once scrapped after use, are now refurbished, their components given a second life. Businesses are discovering that circularity is not only good for the planet, but also a source of new value and innovation. Imagine a world where yesterday's trash becomes tomorrow's treasure, where landfills give way to resource banks, and where nothing, truly nothing, goes to waste. But sustainability is not just about materials, it is also about energy. Solar panels and wind turbines are appearing everywhere, harnessing the power of nature to generate clean electricity. Yet the sun does not always shine, and the wind does not always blow. Reliable, around-the-clock renewable energy requires advanced storage solutions. Enter the next generation of batteries: solid-state batteries that are safer and longer-lasting, flow batteries that store energy in liquid form, and even gravity storage systems that use heavy weights and pulleys to bank power for later use. These technologies are rapidly scaling up, allowing entire cities to run on renewable energy day and night. Imagine a world where clean power flows seamlessly, unbroken by clouds or calm skies, where 24/7 renewable electricity is not a fantasy but an everyday reality. Water, so abundant and yet, for billions, so scarce. 2 billion people around the world lack access to safe drinking water, a crisis that grows more urgent as populations rise and droughts become more severe. Advanced desalination technologies are stepping up to meet this challenge, transforming seawater into fresh, drinkable water with a fraction of the energy once required. Solar stills use the heat of the sun to evaporate and purify water, while graphene filters strip salt and contaminants away with remarkable efficiency. Zero liquid discharge systems ensure that not a drop is wasted, creating closed loops of water use for farms, factories, and cities. In some places, machines even pull water from the very air, condensing it for use in the driest deserts. The oceans and the sky, once untapped sources, are now becoming lifelines, turning the impossible into the everyday. As we rethink our infrastructure, the buildings we live and work in must also change. Today, buildings account for nearly 40% of global carbon emissions, from their construction to their daily operation. Net zero buildings flip this equation on its head. Through smart design, careful orientation, thick insulation, triple glazed windows, and efficient heating and cooling, these buildings slash their energy needs. Solar panels, Rooftop wind turbines, and even algae-covered walls generate clean power on site, sometimes producing more energy than the building consumes. Excess power flows back into the grid or charges electric vehicles in the parking lot. Imagine homes, schools, and offices that are not just shelters, but mini power plants, spaces that heal the planet one rooftop at a time. But sustainability is not only about technology, it is also about reconnecting with nature. In the concrete jungles of our cities, the need for green spaces has never been more urgent. Urban areas act as heat islands, trapping warmth and raising temperatures to dangerous levels. Rewilding cities is a bold new approach that brings native plants, trees, and animals back into the urban fabric. Green roofs and living walls cool buildings and clean the air, while wildlife corridors connect parks, gardens, and waterways, allowing birds, bees, and butterflies to thrive. Cities like Barcelona are reimagining streets as green boulevards, while Singapore's skyline is dotted with vertical forests. This is not just about aesthetics. Urban nature reduces flooding, improves mental health, and creates habitats for endangered species. Cities that were once gray and lifeless are becoming vibrant, living ecosystems, green lungs at the heart of the metropolis. Now, let's turn to one of the most controversial and promising innovations of our time, lab-grown meat. Traditional animal agriculture is responsible for vast greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, and water use. But what if we could produce real meat without raising or slaughtering animals? Cultivated meat is made from real animal cells, grown in nutrient-rich bioreactors. The process uses far less land, water, and energy, and generates up to 90% fewer emissions. Already, restaurants in select cities are serving chicken and beef grown entirely in labs. No pastures, no feedlots, no cruelty. The taste and texture are virtually identical to conventional meat, satisfying cravings while sparing the planet. This breakthrough could transform diets, reduce pressure on wild habitats, and create a food system that is both ethical and sustainable. Finally, we come to the biggest challenge of all, carbon dioxide. For centuries, CO2 has been the invisible engine of climate change, building up in the atmosphere and warming the planet. But what if we could pull carbon from the air and put it to work? Carbon capture and utilization technologies are doing just that. Giant fans suck CO2 out of the sky, storing it deep underground where it cannot escape, or converting it into useful products like concrete, fuels, and even vodka. Companies like Climeworks are building air capture plants on mountaintops, while Carbon Cure injects captured CO2 into building materials, making them stronger and greener. This is more than a cleanup effort. It is a new industrial revolution, turning pollution into potential and waste into wealth. These 8 ideas, vertical farming, the circular economy, clean energy storage, advanced desalination, net zero buildings, rewilded cities, lab-grown meat, and carbon capture, are not distant sci-fi fantasies. They are happening now in real communities, cities, and ecosystems around the world. Each represents a different piece of the sustainability puzzle, and together they paint a picture of a more resilient, equitable, and livable future. The pathway to a sustainable world is not a single road, but a vast network of ideas, actions, and collaborations. Some of these innovations are powered by high technology, others draw on ancient wisdom and natural processes. All of them require bold vision, determined action, and the willingness to rethink what is possible. Which of these ideas inspires you the most? Is it the promise of food grown sky-high in city towers, or the vision of homes that double as power plants? Do you dream of cities where wildflowers bloom and birds sing, or of a world where meat is made without harm? Perhaps you are excited by the prospect of turning carbon pollution into the raw materials of tomorrow. The future is not something that just happens to us. It is something we create, together, with every choice we make, every innovation we support, and every conversation we start. At Global Foundry, we believe that every spark of an idea can forge a better world. Join us as we explore, celebrate, and accelerate the innovations that matter most. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you are as passionate about building a sustainable future as we are, we invite you to share your thoughts, spark a conversation, and become part of a global community that refuses to settle for the status quo. The future isn't written, it's forged, and together we have the power to shape it.